Well, we have some not so great news in the world of cryptocurrency today as the SEC has moved forward with the crackdown on that of staking. This is starting off with Kraken, and we're more than likely going to be seeing this rippling across to other cryptocurrency exchanges. And we're already seeing an impact on cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. As I'm speaking, it is dropping. It is down 4.59%, down below $22,000. We have an article from Watcher Guru. I'll read through this. I'll share my thoughts and my opinions on this at the end of the video. And guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into the news. Crypto exchange Kraken agrees to shut down staking following SEC charges. CoinDesk has reported that crypto exchange Kraken has agreed to shut down its crypto staking operations following SEC charges. The U.S. regulatory agency conducted a closed-door session today, with industry sources reporting a briefing taking place on the Kraken settlement. The SEC will come together to, quote, discuss and vote on the settlement during a closed-door commissioner meeting on Thursday afternoon, according to the report. Moreover, the report stated an official announcement is expected to occur later in the day. Kraken to end crypto staking operations. There have been rumblings of a closed-door meeting conducted by SEC officials taking place today, with many expecting crypto staking to be the subject. We now know that the meeting was in reference to crypto exchange Kraken agreeing to shut down its staking operation following SEC charges. To this point, the report notes that neither side has commented on the development following requests by CoinDesk. Subsequently, the story arrives the day after Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong noted the SEC has placed crypto staking fairly in its crosshairs, leading many to worry that the procedure could be banned in the United States. And in reference to that post, we can see Brian Armstrong here on Twitter saying, one, we're hearing rumors that the SEC would like to get rid of crypto staking in the U.S. for retail customers. I hope that's not the case, as I believe it would be a terrible path for the United States if that was allowed to happen. Two, staking is a really important innovation in crypto. It allows users to participate directly in running open crypto networks. Staking brings many positive improvements to the space, including scalability, increased security, and reduced carbon footprints. And number three, staking is not a security. Here's a good primer. He provides a link to that. 4, we need to make sure that new technologies are encouraged to grow in the United States and not stifled by lack of clear rules. When it comes to financial services and Web3, it's a matter of national security that these capabilities be built out in the United States. Regulation by enforcement doesn't work. It encourages companies to operate offshore, which is what happened with FTX. Hopefully, we can work together to publish clear rules for the industry and come up with sensible solutions that protect consumers while preserving innovation and national security interests in the United States. Moving on, CoinDesk stated that Kraken offers various services, quote, including a crypto lending product offering up to 24% yield. The report states that every service is expected to also be shut down under settlement conditions. Kraken's offered staking service offered a 20% APY, quote, promising to send customers staking rewards twice per week, as stated on its website. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has previously stated his belief that staking through entities like Kraken could meet the requirements of the Howey test. A U.S. Supreme Court case is used often to define what constitutes a security under U.S. law. And now my thoughts on this. I think the SEC I think they're doing a terrible job. When it comes to crypto, we have the XRP case as well as the library case, in which it looks very likely that the SEC is going to be losing that at this point. Although they did have a win that came out with library, the XRP, and what they're presenting, and the ongoing disputes between these basically shows that the SEC doesn't really have a lot of sufficient evidence to back up what it is that they're trying to force for their rules. So to me, it's very bizarre when you also come into things like this. It's like, hey, we're going to shut you down because what you're doing is wrong, but we don't really have an explanation to properly define what would be considered to be right. So you're doing is wrong, but we don't know what's right. You understand? That doesn't really make a lot of logical sense. How can we pursue moving forward in an industry space when you don't clearly define what it is that needs to happen and take place in order to be able to go and pursue these things, right? You can't really go and pursue anything. They just turn around and shut it down willy-nilly, and there's not really a logical reasoning behind this. And this isn't just with crypto, right? We're also seeing other issues that ripple across into the stock market. I've talked about this in the past. You have major hedge funds. They're doing really shady things. Payment for order flow, why are we still dealing with that? The list can go on and on. The dark pools, etc. There's a lot of fundamental things that we're looking at that the average investor needs to be able to have access to, but instead the SEC is looking the other way. They're charging fines, and essentially they're getting their pay cut out of the circumstance, and it screws over the little people and benefits the large companies. Now, in this case, we're talking about Kraken being a larger company, and sure, it's not really to their benefit. But in the cases of where I'm talking about with, for example, in the stock market, major hedge funds, again, they come out on top on this. They get a little slap on the wrist if they do something wrong, but then they just keep doing the similar things that they've been doing. They also get access to tools and features that the rest of us don't have access to. So when you're trying to level the playing field, as Brian Armstrong was really stressing over in his thread here, staking has a lot of benefits to it. And these benefits just seem to be overshadowed by the idea that the SEC wants to put their thumb on the scale, and they want to be able to regulate this thing. And guess what? This is going to affect a lot of different projects, a lot of different cryptocurrencies. What do you think is going to happen with Ethereum? How is that going to look moving forward? Ethereum's been moving over to this staking model system, right? Proof of stake, consensus mechanism. How is that going to be viewed by the SEC? How many crypto projects are built on Ethereum? How many NFTs are built off of Ethereum? What's going to happen in that whole industry space, right? Is the SEC intentionally trying to just cripple the whole crypto market and essentially force crypto into this dark recession, depression era of its point, in which the United States, by the way, we're supposed to be leading innovators? You're already having other countries that are building out Bitcoin ETFs, and we have very well-known established companies here in the United States that have been sending in proposals for Bitcoin ETFs for years. Now, whether or not you agree on the idea that we should have an ETF, I just find it interesting that we have ETFs for other things, and Bitcoin as an ETF is already in existence in other countries. But lo and behold, the United States is the one that's falling behind on these decision makings. Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. What is going to happen next with this? We'll have to wait and see. But first up, Kraken. Boom. There you go. SEC says shut it down. Crypto Kraken Exchange says, okay, they're shutting it down for their staking side. What's next? Coinbase, Binance US, what other ones? Gemini. I mean, they had their issues with the earn and everything else. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they're trying to justify it. It's because of all the stupid stuff that happened with FTX and Alameda, and then that rippling effect to these other ones, right? So they're maybe using that as an excuse to now try and do this. Anyways, Bitcoin down to $21,810. On another price chart that I see, you guys are seeing it being displayed up above here is 21,915. You're seeing it a little bit different in some different places. Now I'm seeing it at 21,799, 21,800. It's right around that range. Where's the bottom going to be with this? Well, I think it really depends on how the news follows forward with this. If we start to hear that there's other exchanges that are dropping like flies with staking, I think a lot of people are going to become very fearful of what happens with Ethereum. Now, another thing to keep in mind too, I want to point out to you guys, is that you have also DeFi. So there are platforms out there where you can do forms of staking. How is that going to be regulated? I don't think they're going to be able to regulate it because it's DeFi. It's decentralized finance. Who are they going to contact? How would they try and block that? In what ways, right? So there's staking that's still going to exist to some varying degree as it is right now. It just looks like with Kraken, not good for them. But what do you guys think? Do you think that staking will still be fine? Do you think that Ethereum will still be fine? Because, one reason or another. I mean, we know Vitalik Buterin's behind that of Ethereum, so that's a little bit of a different story. That's kind of a more centralized entity there. Tell us your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Again, I have a link to this article down in the description. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. A double shout out thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Victor Vegas, SafeMoon Oz for being higher level patrons. Also, thank you to my YouTube members for your support. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. God bless. And I have a referral link down in the description for, well, a video you guys can check out where if you want to, you can be able to pay your bills directly using cryptocurrency. I've done it. I did it in the video. You can find out more on how to do that. You could even get a nice little referral bonus if you go and find out more information there. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.